Welcome in. It is the ATB show at the buzzer. You can go to atbshow.com, find all of our social mediums where Rubber Shoes. There's hat of the day, shoe of the day, thong of the day. It's almost that time of year. He's going in for the full Brazilian. Going to get the backyards, Look at Scotty. Whatever you're about to drink, I just ruined it for you. And I love that about me. What do you got?
I really don't want it now. I've got that freaking image in my head. Fiddlehead IPA.
Oh, good for you.
On the bottom here, it says, please store cold. Yeah, no shit. It's an IPA. Why would you, what?
Well, people are problematic. They forget to make things cold. Anywho, Still Lent, doing the Celsius. Still not a sponsor, but we love them. What do you got, Rubber Shoes? What are you drinking?
Crown and Coke
I love
Zero.
all of this. I love when he's looped up. Big night of basketball. And I got to show you guys this stuff. I'm sure we've already talked about this. And we discovered another brand here. This is what we do while we're selling houses. And yes, if you're watching the news, real estate's alive and well. The lights are on. Anyway, if you know, you know. So there's that thing. Did I tell you guys about the pocket coffee? Have we had this conversation?
Oh yeah.
So Tiana, who works out front, found there's a brand. I'm going to murder the name, so I'm not going to try to say the name. Found a brand that's at, can you see that, sort of? Is it in focus, out of focus? It's like Mieszko. This is available at Target. And I don't know if I should do this and the Celsius. I feel like maybe not. Though I'm tempted. Though I don't know if anybody wants to.
You might ride off the road on the way home.
Yeah, I'm not going to. But anyway, we found another brand of pocket coffee, so that's exciting. We are brought to you by our dear friends Joe and Leslie over at AAA Work Trucks. Rubber Shoes will tell you where you can find inappropriate shirtless photos of him, life-size, on the side of a van, in traffic, anywhere in these New England states. Go ahead, Rubber Shoes.
That's what we're brought to you by AAA Work Trucks, your one-stop shop for all your work truck needs. If it goes in or on a vehicle, it's a good bet. AAA can take care of it for you. Give them a call at 866-783-222 or check them out online at aaaworktrucks.com.
So I have to imagine most people saw Rubber Shoes, and I was just talking about this because I got on Rubber Shoes is avidly listening to the fire department down in the Beltway in the Baltimore area. Baltimore area? Yes, Baltimore area. Apologize. Yeah. You saw the bridge, Scotty, down there? The Francis Scott Key Bridge that got plowed into by a container
she told me about
boat?
It this morning. She's like, have you seen this? And I had not. But yeah, that's nuts. The question that her and I went back and forth is like, you're not steaming in there, doing 70 knots. Like you're coming in. It's like one of those, like, it's like the Mike Myers moment with the Zamboni, move out of the way, and like, how does that happen? I just don't understand how that happens and how there's not technology there to avoid.
They lost their steering.
They couldn't just.
The boat couldn't steer.
Stop. They couldn't. Yeah, but
no, you're in current.
Oh, it's a heavy current. Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't it actually off topic, on topic? You're welcome. The current under the General Sullivan Bridge going out of South Dover into Newington, or out of Newington into South Dover, is like, I'm going to say a ridiculous number, but I don't think I'm wrong. Is it the third or the fifth, one of the third or the fifth strongest currents on the planet?
Yeah, Piscataqua it's third or second. Yeah.
Like right by Hilton Park, right under the General Sullivan Bridge is the most, which is sad because there's a lot of people that go to that bridge and jump and all that kind of stuff because it's almost impossible to turn back once you're in the water. You're pulled in and under and all that kind of stuff. Janina was like, well, thank God, because they kept talking about how it was in like the 1 a.m. time frame, East Coast time, last night when it happened, or this morning. What I didn't know, Rubber Shoes is just telling me, because of course he's on the horn with the fire department down there. Janina's like, well, thank God it was 1 o'clock. There's not a lot of people on the bridge at that time. I mean, who knows? Bigger city. Rubber Shoes just told me there was construction going on. So there's a roughneck up there moving orange cones, and suddenly you're like, hey, Jerry, shouldn't that boat be slowing down? So last thing I heard, they had recovered at least one, but they assume they're looking for 7 more. Is that math changed?
Yeah, I heard. So the last part I had heard, they had grabbed that second person out of the water. And
Yeah.
but they don't even know how many vehicles. They know there was definitely a tractor trailer that went in, and there was some other vehicles that were crossing that went in. So I think they think about possibly 7 vehicles in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this wasn't a bridge that raised. Like it doesn't. You know what I mean?
No,
like the one. Like,
nope.
Wow.
Yep. No
Yeah, it
breaking.
hit one of the stanchions.
Yeah, it didn't hit the
yeah.
bridge. It ran into one of the stanchions. But it honestly, and because I crushed physics, I didn't. It didn't look like, even like naked eye watching the footage, it didn't look like even if it was lined up properly, it would have cleared appropriately. I don't know. Just everything about it looked not good, but it's not great. It's not great. We got to talk about, well, Adam's not here, so we can skate quickly through women's basketball because he's not here to fight for its greatness.
All right. Next.
Rubbershoo's box checked.
That was a quick skate.
We skated right through. Well, the thing I want to touch on real quick before we do, because the thing worthwhile or worth talking about, if you've watched any of it, and the only, like, the soup du jour for me today was last night, Caitlin Clark's really passionate. And there's been a lot of stuff like, if Angel Reese was that verbally passionate, I'll leave it there. If you watched the game last night, you saw it. And people can't determine if because at one point she's at home. They're still in Iowa for last night's round. And she drives the lane, she scores, and she turns around and she screams like, "Shut the up." And it's like, are you yelling that at your home crowd? Are you yelling that at your critics? And also, is she yelling that at her dad? Because her dad's renting space in her head. And I understand he's been her coach for most of her life. And at one point she's on the foul line, and not on the foul line, but she's on defense, while somebody's shooting a foul, and she's yelling at her dad, and he's telling her to shut up, and she's complaining about like the last call or whatever. That is going to be fascinating to watch that continue.
Well,
and
the problem is with that is I could see where her father was coming from. They're up by 30, and she was just yapping. And they're up by like 30 or 28 points at that time. And he's just like, shut up. Just stop. Just shut up.
Yeah.
Read the room.
It's going to
be it doesn't need to happen like that. And honestly, I think if they lose, I feel like it's going to be because she's not going to be able to control
her emotions got out of Yeah. Well, that's just it. Like, I'm watching last night, and I had this tiny inkling that I wanted to sort of push down and be like, "No, you can't come out to play." Like, am I going to hate this girl by the end of this? Like, I don't know, because keep it together. And I appreciate the emotion, right? And I love the fact that they're all mouthing off to the refs and all that kind of stuff. Not in a lack of sportsmanship kind of way, but I love the emotion and the passion around this tournament this year. It's fascinating right now that she can't keep it inside the guardrails, and it could cost her. I mean, if she gets teed up and gets kicked out of a game,
right?
And we might get there, because a certain set of refs said with a few days to think about, if she sneezes wrong, we're going to start teeing people up. We're just going to change the landscape for everybody this coming weekend. It'll be interesting. On the men's side, I know. I feel like Aiden is definitely, he might be hanging on to the back of the bus, not seated in the back of the bus. Do you have the stats? Do you have the stats up, Scotty? Aiden is getting his head kicked in.
I'm not much better. I can't really talk too much about it.
And the humility of William Francis Corey. He's like, listen, what can I tell you? None of this makes any sense. He's just up front. He's like, oh, me? I'm sorry. Is it my crown? Is he still in first?
Yeah.
Do we have to live in this? We have to live in this world.
It's all going to come down to whoever wins it. So the next 4 people behind me have UConn, and then there's Purdue. So if either one of those win, they're going to win it. That's what happens.
All right. Yep.
So there's right now, Aiden and I are at the bottom. So I got only 400 points. He's got 390.
Aiden is 100 points behind me.
Yeah.
What's that?
Aiden is 100 points behind me.
Okay.
Yep. And so where
What happened to Frodo Brackets?
he dropped a little bit. He dropped a little
Such
bit.
a good
but
name.
He's still at 88.1% of picks right now. He still can get a decent max, but I mean, to
I
Billy's
can't
point,
tell
though,
if that's
he's got
just
Purdue winning
funny
the whole thing.
or is that in honor of Baker? Is it like a mix of the two? Like where
Oh, I have no idea.
The Frodo Brackets.
I don't know, but I love it. I think it's. I'm actually seeing him next weekend. We're
That's a
going to
great
go.
name.
We got a mandate
So
going to see Godzilla.
Both brackets, I'm 10 points ahead of Jess. Jess is in second place in both brackets.
Interesting.
I did a lot of upsets. I picked Vermont over Duke just to piss Shane off. So,
I love that.
it was like I just took $25 and threw it out the window. I don't care.
Yeah, I had Clemson advancing first round. Then I had Baylor taking Clemson out, and they won the Baylor game, which Corey drove to my house to remind me that Clemson won. So he's very excited.
How far did he take Clemson?
Oh, I'm sure he's got Clemson going to the whole sitch. I'm sure.
No, he's not. No.
He has Arizona beating him.
Oh,
next round.
Interesting.
Yep. No, he has UConn. Majority of folks have UConn.
Yeah, I mean, outside of Kentucky getting eliminated, has there been anything else that you're like, wow, didn't see that coming? Doesn't feel that way.
There hasn't been any major upsets in this thing.
No, I'd say that the only, I wouldn't say it was an upset in the second round, but the way they played was somewhat surprising. Was just Kansas. They got blown out by Gonzaga. And Gonzaga, I had Gonzaga moving on. That wasn't it. It was just they got crushed. It was like by 21 points, and I was really surprised. I was expecting a much better game there. Other than that, hasn't really been any jaw droppers. Really, I mean, in regards,
Auburn kind of was a mild.
Auburn was a shock. It was a bit of a big upset. Yale, but beating them was enormous. I don't think. I mean, BYU choking that game away was frustrating to watch for me because I had BYU. But pretty much any upset that went the other way, I got screwed on.
I had Duquesne in both my pools winning that first round, and I put money on them also, so I won actual knowledge on that win.
Nice.
Well, I joined another a buddy of mine at the office. He put together a squares.
Sure.
So he put together squares for $25 a square, and it's for every game, and it's last digit of the winning score and losing score. So I got 2 squares
for every game.
For every game, yeah. So and it's nuts. So
I have a headache thinking about that. Like, what is he? Beautiful mind? Is he like drawing Sharpie on the office windows? What's he doing?
No.
Is there? Tell me, there's an app that runs this for him, or is he just sick in the head?
Legit question. I don't.
Jesus.
I don't know, but it's pretty great. Can I share my screen? Is that possible? Oh, I can.
Can you?
I can.
Stand by.
How many games is there total?
Yeah, I'll show you. So there's 100. There's 100 total. Oh, how many games? So it's for the first 60 games. Winners get $25. Right. Share. Window.
Are you sharing?
I am about to right now. Bam. So.
Oh, so now hang on. I love this. Hang on a second.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
There it is. I don't know that we can necessarily make it bigger.
I can.
You can. Excellent. Hold on.
So, all right. So up top, obviously, winning score, losing score here, right? So I'm here.
Yep.
I got winning score 1, losing score 2, winning score 0, losing score 7. So it was $25 per square, and then for 20, you win. If you win, you get $25 for the first 60 games. And then, so that's including obviously up into the final 4, and then $100 for the first round of the final 4 for halftime and final, and then $100 for the championship game halftime score, and then whoever wins, whoever gets it for that gets the $500. I've already won $50 so far off of this, so I've made my money back. So everything else is,
interesting.
Just free cash. Yeah, it was when I saw this come up, I did the same thing as you, Timmy. Like, what the, how's this gonna work? And you know what? It's actually just pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
Things.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The 2 that I have. Yeah.
And how much was it to get in?
25.
Well, that's not bad at all.
Nope.
Huh. Interessante.
Professor.
The professor. Well, you had your whiteboard up. I was very excited for you. Now I got to switch it back. I had up the Red Sox season ticket window because I figured they're both empty. So why not? Nobody's there. Is anybody there? Who's there? What are we doing?
Nobody's there for the first week, especially.
Oh my God! What are we
Seattle
doing?
and then Oakland, I think.
Oh, so if we do it next Wednesday, maybe I can come to Bentley Lane to do the show live with you and Cheryl, and the Red Sox are on at 3:57 next week.
Wait a minute.
Wednesday.
All right, so we're doing a 3:57 game. Then you and I will set up. I suppose.
37, yeah.
Well, you could set up what you could set up in. I'm just thinking of audio and us yelling over each other.
Yeah.
I'll set up in my dad's old office where I'll work.
This part.
People love it. People love this part. I'll set up in the office. You can set up at the dining room table. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Awesome. All three of our viewers.
They're running for the hills. That was the content that made them.
That
leave,
was it.
or
That
not-
was it. Yeah, exactly.
Or not show up in the first place. Either way.
It's amazing.
Hang on. Let me edit this.
Well, I gotta say that. So since the meeting at the Kowloon, and
Yeah.
where I've been posting the wrap up and everything on YouTube, we've doubled our subscribers since then.
Oh yeah.
Doubled since then. Love that.
Yep.
Five
Up to
to 10.
91 as of this morning.
I love that.
I like it.
Hopefully Lent's
jumping
over,
in?
and then when we hit 100, we can celebrate Tim with a drink.
You never know. Maybe. I'm just
Henry,
gonna
you were
keep.
crap.
I'm just gonna keep. Who's worse? I'm just gonna keep changing it. I had one more thing on top of mind, and it's gone. Can we talk about? Are we good with basketball, or do we need to talk more about college basketball? We still want to hit the Celtics. Obviously, we have to make predictions for the Red Sox. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Touch on the Patriots a
Well,
little bit.
since last week's episode never aired, Scotty, you're not under pressure of what you
I know,
said
right?
last week.
I'm changing it.
What
I'm gonna
happened?
change it. So it didn't air because the recording that I sent to Adam, for some reason he couldn't post it.
Did we not make it onto the YouTubes?
Nope.
No.
Nowhere.
Nowhere.
So Kaylee said,
It was a
listen,
damn
maybe
good show.
3 viewers, but they are great viewers.
All
I
right.
agree,
So
Keely.
so
You are valued.
so we get the one that doesn't exist last week.
Yep.
Yeah, which I think it's probably user error on my part.
Oh, that's fine. I gotta remember when I go in tonight to go to live, add one, and then go to next because technically tonight's an episode after last week, but it won't be in this. It won't be in the library for me to reference from.
Adam's chiming in.
He's just
He's
watching
getting-
us on the TV.
He's getting his hair and nails done. Yeah. I wanted to ask you guys your thoughts on heading
He's
towards
one of our
baseball.
viewers right now.
It's great. Maybe I'll shut it down and watch. We're gonna spike today. We're spiking today. The Ohtani thing. Talk to me about the Ohtani thing. Like, what do you think is going to happen there? Is he headed for trouble? I mean, not P. Diddy trouble. That's another show for another time.
Oh
But
no, he's probably worse.
probably worse.
I mean, if so, I didn't hear his statement. What came out? I didn't get a chance to read what he
Yeah.
said.
He basically said that he has not bet on anything. The funds that were funneled to the DraftKings and whatever else were stolen, and that his interpreter was just straight up lying. And that he was never betting on baseball. He was never betting on any sports at all. It wasn't him. He just basically came out and said, this has nothing to do with me. This is all his interpreter. And that was pretty much it. He's pleading the innocence.
Yeah. So and when you heard the statement, I feel like at some point there was something, and it might have been what his interpreter said, but no, I think it was something that Ohtani actually referred to, that he had given him money. And I heard it in a way like and this isn't great either. It's still not great, but like his interpreter got jammed up with his bookie, and Ohtani gave him money to get off the hook. And And it now, sunshine is the greatest disinfectant. So this is out in plain sight now. So everything gets exacerbated and people get more excited. But you can't tell me that we don't have assistants or personal assistants or security guys for some of our professional athletes that haven't gotten to a spot that might not have necessarily been legal. And gambling's legal, by the way. Welcome to the country.
Not in California.
This is where I want to leap out of a window that doesn't open and go lay in traffic. Because, of course, California, of all the horse shit, really? That's the hill they're going to die on?
So that's
like walking around without pantaloons on, smoking weed out of your ass. Everything else is on the table. But you can't place a bet?
Placed with an illegal bookie in California.
Hold, stand by. What happened?
They were placed through an illegal bookie in California.
Is there a legal bookie in California?
No.
There's no, you cannot bet on sports in California.
That's what I heard on ESPN, that they do not have legal bet it, like DraftKings and all that's not legal out there.
All right, so I appreciate that, but I'm just thinking of the fact that like there's a lot of horse tracks out there, and that's on. That's
but
I
there's
know
no sports betting. Yeah.
Again.
So the
Gavin Newsom.
Reports I had read initially
you,
is that he was placing bets through an illegal bookie. The illegal bookie was going to Vegas and placing the bets there.
Wow. Yeah, it's probably greasier. What's even better, the whole conversation is going to be fascinating. Are you sending your Dodgers stuff back to Modell's? Can you get your money back? Are you staying on? Are you riding this boat into the bridge? Was that too soon? Too late? What are you doing? What's happening?
I just have a hat to go with my Jackie Robinson stuff. That's it.
Okay.
So
I appreciate the historical significance.
Showy stuff, which is definitely on hold right now.
Well, and the funny thing is,
if they find out he's placed a bet on baseball, he's got to be banned for life, right? That's the precedence.
And I know you guys, maybe Scotty hasn't seen it because it might have popped up this morning. Rubber Shoes you probably tripped over it. There's Pete Rose is on cloud 9 right now. The same way J-Lo was sort of getting dragged in the mud for her Bronx order a couple days ago, and then P. Diddy decided to be. Isn't it funny? He was almost hiding in plain sight with that nickname, P. Diddy, like the pedophile. It almost rolls right off the tongue. So in the grand scheme of things, like she's thanking God that P. Diddy's a moron, and it's fascinating because Pete Rose is like, I just needed an interpreter, and I would have been okay. Like he's got a point. Yeah, this kid, if they can trace it back that he was placing the bets through an intermediary, it's lights out. And I hate that because he would be really fun, even though he's not ours. He'd be fun for the sport to watch him transition out of starting pitcher and to be able to go to DH and really change the game and be Babe Ruth-esque for our generation. And that might all get ripped away because he puts $75 on the Phoenix Suns on a Thursday night.
Babe Ruth of our era right
now. 1,000%. No, I know. But it's amazing that got here. I can't believe that this is a thing. And I'm equally stunned that you can't actually bet in California. You can do everything else, but you can't bet in California.
It works out because, quick hobby thing. So baseball cards.
Here we go. This could be Funko Pops. This could be underwear. God.
Now the big thing is not just having the cards, but you send them out to get graded. And when they get graded, if you get a perfect 10, that's like worth so much more than just the regular card. Mm-hmm. So I currently have a Shohei Ohtani rookie card that is being graded. Of course, it's going to come back as a 10,
so good.
And he's going to get banned for life.
Yeah, wouldn't that? But you know what? Like 10 years from now, the value would be great. You know.
No, Pete Rose cards aren't worth that much right now.
That's incredible. And is it like in pristine condition right now?
I'm gonna find out how. Like it's close. It's gonna be close to being a 10.
Yeah. So even if it's completely whitewashed because of what's going on right now, you're still going to be dumb enough to ask the question. And I say this with love. You're gonna be like, so if hell had gone into a handbasket. Like, where was I
How much
sitting?
would it be worth?
Yeah, he's gonna be like, this was $38K all day, and you'd be like, great, that's
When you figure
great.
like a Jordan star rookie PSA 10 is about $15,000. And like if you get any of those old ones, there's like a Mickey Mantle that sold. It wasn't even a perfect. It was like, I think it was like an 8, graded at an 8. So 1 to 10, 10 being the best, and it sold for like over $1 million. So yeah, he's getting banned for life because I'm gonna have one that's a 10.
You're willing it into existence. You're fighting against you. Yeah. Holy Moses. All right, so let's talk Red Sox. We have when is game 1? I was so confused because that
Thursday night.
Okay, so that the game that LA had in South Korea, I was confused. I thought
It's the day that Scotty's going golfing.
What's happening?
Chicken and
Does
beer.
the beer and chicken thing.
Oh my God, the
every
chicken
year.
and beer at Atkinson.
Chicken and beer. Yeah, Thursday.
Yes. Do you think they're open? They're not open, dude.
They're open.
He's already got it booked.
Oh, I apologize. They were far south enough. They just got rain, right?
Yeah.
I didn't even think of
I
that.
called the pro shop yesterday, and he was all fired up and adamant that they'll be open. They're opening on Thursday. It's their first day.
Good for you.
He's like, it might be a little wet, but he's like, we'll get you out there.
Who cares?
So, okay.
Golf outdoors. Good for you. That's awesome. Yeah, Coach and I just wrapped up the indoor league. We had our opening. Our opening round of the playoffs, and we snuck in our round over the weekend, and we missed round 2 of the playoffs by 1 stroke.
Oh.
Yeah, not great. We're terrible, and we had a horrible round, but yeah, so much fun. So predictions from you guys. We'll get Adams in the near future, but your predictions for the Red Sox. Where do you think we're landing for the season? Like, I guess my question, honestly, rubber shoes, how bad could this possibly get?
Oh, it can be really bad.
Good night, everybody. Try the veal. We'll be here all week.
They're not worst in the league bad. They're gonna be middle of the pack as far as the full league, and we're in one of the toughest divisions in baseball. So
yeah, well, who is going to win the race to the bottom? Who's the shittiest team on the planet right now? Would you say?
Kansas City.
Isn't that crazy?
I'd say they're probably worse than us. So in MLB The Show, because that's how I base all my.
That's the barometer.
There's only 4 teams in the game that are worse than the Red Sox.
Oh no!
Oh really?
Who are they?
Yeah. Oh man, I try to remember. I think Kansas City, Pittsburgh. I don't know the other 2. I'll be honest. Maybe the Brewers or something. But yeah, they're not. I don't know. I did like what Alex Cora said. I actually read this yesterday. I think it was talking about just how much fun and like the team seems to to be around each other. They're having a great time. They're actually getting along and they're having fun. And he's like, we're going to do some unconventional things. And, I think it's
like what, when?
Athletic. Yeah, exactly. That was my first thought too, was get a dub. But, they're young, they're athletic, and he kept like kind of harping on that a little bit. But, you look at the roster, and I think I mentioned to Billy before last week, the unaired episode that'll never see the light of day, it was a major league moment for me when I was like looking at the roster. When the guy was looking at the paper, yes, kids, that's how we used to find out what the rosters were back in the day.
The Daily Bugle. Hang on, your father's reading the paper.
And he looked at it, he was like, who the fuck are these guys? And who are these fucking guys? And that's how I felt. But the more I've looked at it, they are young. They've got some talent. Trevor Story hit a bomb yesterday. Like, he looks like he's hopefully healthy going in. Optimistic. I'm going to say a 500 team. They're going to win 82.
Oh.
That's my vote.
So
no, they're going to win 81. Well, it's 162,
Yeah.
81, 81, right?
Yeah.
81.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
one game
Okay.
over 500. How about that?
So
82.
Oh,
back
82.
to
Okay.
Or 2 games over. Jesus Christ! I'm gonna drink more.
Welcome back to the
Major
show.
League reference. So hearing what Scotty just said, they could end up being, the team that they're gonna say we're good despite ownership not putting anything behind
Mhm.
us, not going out and grabbing anyone this offseason. Oh no, wait, they got Lucas Giolito who won't be here for the whole season.
No, let me put him back in the window. I almost forgot. Yeah.
But I'm gonna say 72 wins. They'll be in last place in the AL East again, which isn't a shocker because most of those teams should be better than us. Even though I don't think Toronto, New York, or Tampa Bay got better, but they didn't get as bad as we did. And
82,
Orioles
82
gonna
and 80
win
from
the
Scotty. 82 and 80
Orioles
from
will win the
Scotty.
AL East.
And what did you just say for math?
72.
72 wins.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I'm not
It doesn't
way
help.
off.
The first 4 games of the season is probably against one of the best teams in the American League. Seattle's a beast. Like, Seattle's really good. I think they're going to be tough.
I
That's
think
not a great.
Baltimore.
Baltimore's good. Baltimore's
I'll tell
good.
you, So look at I look for rookies coming up for baseball card invest.
Yes. Who's going to be phenomenal and have a problem?
This is
His card's going to be worth nothing in 3 months when he gets caught with a border collie and a bag of cocaine in a motel.
Third year in a row
Sorry,
that they
I
have
painted
the
that.
top prospect in
Too bright.
Baseball America.
Yep. Okay.
They're and they added some pitching to their staff, so Baltimore is going to be very good.
Yeah, Baltimore would be tough.
So I refuse to say that we're going to lose 100 games, so I'm going to go to 63 and 99.
I like it.
And I say that because I truly think we're that bad. I think that, not that he cares, but the finger, everything falls on his desk. Because John Henry's fighting for this version of the Red Sox, so he deserves 63 and 99. And I also hope that me going in this direction causes some cosmic upheaval, and they decide to, because I would love to see like all these kids that are here, there, and everywhere, and people get a shot, and maybe some sort of bad news bears bullshittery clicks, and they throw together some team that makes some noise and gets into the playoffs. That'd be fun. The complete opposite of the T-shirts that we were going to print for Rubber Shoes. They're ruining my summer. I would love for them to be a great story. I don't know. I can't. The inactivity at Fenway this offseason is just breathtaking.
I mean, you asked the question, or you posed it in in the window there, who's worse, Henry or Kraft? And I know, I don't think you would have asked that question prior to the dynasty coming out.
Still haven't watched it. You're welcome. Yep,
that's fine. Well,
that's fine.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Aging like a fine wine.
Exactly. But with Henry, to me, so much worse. Just he's done with the Red Sox, but just hasn't, he's got so many other investments and so many other things that he's got going on. That he doesn't care about Fenway anymore and what's happening with the team. It doesn't matter. You think about in 04 and even in 07 where, they still spent money, even after 04, they went out and they signed Beckett and all this stuff. And, they spent money, and they spent money even after 07. They spent money in 2010, 2011 when they got Adrian Gonzalez and the horrible Carl Crawford signing, all of that. They spent that money and stuff, and they were still invested at that point, but it was just not, now it's no longer a point of focus for him. I think is it, and I think that's sad, for a lot of Red Sox fans.
So what would happen at the All-Star break? Do you see something I know it's going way into the future, but they never do anything at the All-Star break. Would they be in a tough enough spot, or do you think they're just lighting a match and they're mentally checked out on the entire season? as
I
it
think-
feels right now? Or do you think, oh no, we're going to shake some stuff up at the break, which they've never really done, ever?
I think Alex Cora will be fired by Memorial Day.
There's a hot take. Really?
Because one, I think he's a lame duck coach. His contract's done after this year.
Right. Okay.
He doesn't want to be there. He just wants to be fired. So if they start going poorly, and they're already so Breslow's making decisions for him right now with the pitching staff, because he's already, after last year, doesn't want Garrett Whitlock as a starter, but now Breslow's there and it's like, oh, we can tinker with him, and so Garrett Whitlock was named one of the starters. So it's already like Cora's just there. He's a headpiece right now, and
Waited.
if things go bad, it's
The fall guy.
going to be gone pretty quick.
Yeah.
Bring in Jason Varitek, man. Just promote him.
I was just going to say, yeah, Veritek's sitting right there, right? Do you think he's the answer?
I
Or is he
don't know.
temporary?
They brought in the guy for the pitching coaches, like Breslow's right hand man.
Oh, okay.
So he may jump over Varitek. If we don't even know if Varitek wants that position, but he could. I think it's Paul Davis, I want to say is his name, the pitching coach. Yeah,
And listen,
I'm
Belichick's
expecting
available.
my summer to be ruined before summer starts.
So he's gone by Memorial Day. All right. Interesting. Yeah, it's going to be a rough watch. Oh, my God. It's going to be rough. I'm excited for it because the Red Sox always make me excited because of everything it represents, and then the marathons here and all that stuff. But, oh, boy.
And so last I heard, they still haven't sold out opening day. They're supposed to be celebrating the 04 team, 20 years.
Right. And they're going to do something, I think, for the season
And
to reference Wakefield, right? There's got to be something on the sleeve, right?
Yep. Yeah. There'll be that. And who's the idiot that even invited Kurt Schilling? Like, at least Kurt Schilling was smart enough to say, yeah, I'm all set. I'm not going to show up. But how they invited him in the first place is unbelievable.
After everything that happened. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fascinating. Because he would have got booed out of the building.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Holy Moses.
I will say though, there's a small, like I will say for the team itself, players to watch out for, like Rafaela. I'm excited to watch him play this year. Like that's like there are some. I'm happy that there are finally some players that they drafted, when they were 12, and now they're finally up here, ready to play baseball at the major league level. Finally get a chance to see some of them. Abreu and Rafaela, two guys that, and obviously they, Bello. Getting the opening day start against Seattle, stuff like that. That's fun, and I think those are going to be your saving graces, so to speak. I don't know.
Cass is taking another step this year. It should be
good
to watch.
Exactly. Yeah, and watching Jalen Duran and fly around the bases and stuff too. So I don't know.
If there's a lot, like we talked about last week, Scotty, there's a lot of ifs. Like if Casas takes a step, if Rafaela comes in and plays at a high level right away, if Jaron Duran continues on his path where he was last year, if Trevor Story bounces back to as an all-star player, Devers, takes another step. Like I think there's another level to Devers also. If the biggest problem is their pitching.
Yeah.
Their lineup wasn't that bad last year, but their pitching there's a lot of things that got to go right pitching wise. They have potential, which is, we hate that word. There is potential for them to be halfway, and that's what keeps me from not ruining my summer yet, even though I, went off and about a month ago saying that they did. The Red Sox are my favorite team.
He yelled that before the last snowstorm, by the way.
It's like, I love baseball. That's my biggest passion, more than any other sport, and I just have this. I try not to see through Red Sox glasses, so when I'm looking at it, but there's always that part of me that wants them to be better than what I really think they are. So there's always that. I do think they have potential to have people do well and have a halfway decent season. I did definitely not saying they're winning the AL East because they got to go through a lot of pretty good teams to do that.
They're your Patriots for me.
Yes.
Yeah. Yikes. Do we want to go to Bruins
Celtics.
or Celtics or okay?
Yeah, whatever.
Got collapsed last night.
Yeah, that was. It's funny. They don't play Atlanta well, and it's a weird thing. Like that. That's just.
But no Trae Young.
It's wild. I know. It's just such a weird thing, and the weirdest of all of it. So they played last night. They don't play again until Thursday, in Atlanta.
Right.
So they played in Atlanta last night, and then they have 3 days off.
No, it's going to be all the strip bars for the next 3 days.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Jesus. Well, Chicken and Beer was
hot Atlanta
2011, so it's 13 years, but for the Red Sox at least. But
see, this is the stuff that Scotty and I agree on with Missoula. He has the potential to get outcoached badly in the playoffs, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a possibility. The funny thing that I don't look at last night though as the end all be all situation for them. I think it was. I mean, they've been on a tear, and honestly, I think they put cruise control on, and then they just couldn't. They couldn't find it. But yes, my concern for the postseason is
I see little people.
Games. You see what?
Yes. The executive producer's here.
Hello. I still got like 10 minutes.
I love. Release
What's Ava's prediction for the Red Sox?
Oh yeah, what's that? What is your prediction for the Red Sox? Are they going to do good or bad? She said good.
Oh, see, more hope, more potential.
Yes. But for the Celtics, at least, the funny thing I did see online was someone had posted a great meme where the Celtics season has ended 15 times apparently because they've lost 15 games. But every time they lose, it's like, oh, this is why they're not going to win the whole thing and all this stuff. And I think that's hilarious. But Atlanta, for some reason, does give them some trouble for sure. And I mean, it's a. You got that? Okay. It's a. I don't know. I've lost all my train of thought because of.
It's fine.
Captain Wonderful.
All right, I need opinions from both of you.
Oh.
Because I'm slanted on my views in this subject.
Oh boy.
They keeping the play in for LeBron.
I think they're.
Do we think that's a good thing having, 10 teams and to be able to make it to instead of the old only the top 8 make the playoffs, and now they add up until 10 can make it and have the play in.
I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Play good for a couple games.
As the official NBA insider of the show, I'm going to say it's just one more billable game. It's one more game that they can sell. And I think it creates a little more interest, just like the in-season tournament. And yeah, if you've got a team on the bubble that you would like to see in the bubble, I don't think they're going to get rid of it. I'd be shocked because it's become commonplace now. Like it's just like, oh yeah, there's a play-in game. Like we just know that now.
I don't think it's for LeBron. It's for. I will say though, you're not far off. It's for people like LeBron that don't play 82 games anymore, that take games off. So the NBA tried a couple of different things to make sure that players were still playing. And one of those was to remove the, first it was the play-in tournament, right? So even if you aren't in the 8 seed, but you're the 9 and 10, even in the 11 seed, you can still fight. So you want to play at the end of the year. But then you also had the fact, like after players were still taking time off. Then you started to like dock them. You can only play a certain amount of games before you're no longer eligible for, awards, so on and so forth, right? So they're trying to figure that out. I don't think it's, to Timmy's point, I agree. I don't think it's going anywhere. I think they're going to keep it. Do I like it? No. I think the top 8 teams make it. End of conversation. I'm like Jay Williams, where they're like, you need to have 122 teams or 112 or whatever it was he asked for the NCAA tournament. I'd rather have, these are your top, 16 teams in the league. That's it. The end of story. But I mean, honestly, if that was the case, I don't even think Miami would have made the playoffs last year, right? So
right, they were a play-in team last year. So was the Lakers.
Right. And the Lakers are in both, like Miami is a 7 seed right now, which is fine. And Philadelphia is the 8, but Chicago and Atlanta are the 9 and the 10. And then you look, and the Lakers are a 9, Golden State's a 10.
Yeah. So now they could say, oh, yeah, LeBron's made the playoffs, so many straight years, but I'm not sure if they were 9 or 10 last year. They may have been the 8th seed last year, the Lakers, but this year they wouldn't have been in the playoffs at all this year if the old way.
Do you think they'd be able to catch fire enough in the West and they'd be able to get through Denver?
No.
Okay.
The Lakers?
Yeah.
They could go on a run like they did last year because they space out the games far enough to cater to LeBron. I mean, they made it to the conference finals last year.
Oh, Scotty, you've got a question.
Sorry. So let's say it stays as it is. Who wins in a play-in game, and it's elimination game, right? Because 7 and 8. If let's say 7 and 8 stays where it is, which is Dallas and Phoenix, great game, but that whoever wins moves on to the 7 seed. Loser plays for the right to be the 8 seed, right? 9 and 10 stays. It's Lakers and Golden State.
Yeah.
Loser goes home.
Yeah.
You think the Lakers beat the Warriors?
LeBron just has to gear up for that one game. I mean, he's still a phenomenal player, and so on one, and that's like the whole in season tournament. He only had to play, one game a week for that tournament. He can gear up for that. So I think they can beat Golden State in that one game.
I'd take Golden State in that one.
Do you think? I agree. Well, first of all, I was going to say I agree with you, and I don't disagree with you because you know what the hell you're talking about.
I hope you're right.
I'm a coin toss on that game because I think that game is a coin toss, and I also think Adam Silver would rather see right now. I think Adam Silver would rather see LeBron advance.
Oh yeah, 1,000%,
4,000%. So that and where. What set of referees do you get in that game and all that kind of stuff, all that factors in.
Game for the Lakers.
I mean, the other night, I don't know what game it was the other night. All I saw was the highlight, and I probably saw it I know I saw it on social media. I definitely saw it on social media. So I don't know how recent it was, but it was in the last handful of days. There was that foul where he got hit in the head. And I'm not saying he didn't get hit in the head, but his reaction to getting hit in the head, like he's a mammoth individual. And taking a blow to the head at the right time with whatever blood is surrounding your cranium. And you're like, I just, his reaction is
terrible.
So ridiculous. And everybody's and of course he's at home. So everybody's freaking out and all that. Like, I don't know.
There are, you could literally find hundreds, and I'm not exaggerating. There are hundreds of examples of him not even being touched, and him like going down.
Flopposaurus Rex,
they call him LaFlop because that's what he does. LaFlop. You know what I mean? Like, and we all want to compare him and Jordan and all that, and I will always say Jordan for so many reasons, and that's one of them. That's not the top reason, but that's one of them. Because Jordan, did he flop every once in a while? Did he try to get a call every once in a while? 1,000%, yes, he did. But was it as bad as like me going like this? And Tim, you're in a whole other town, but guess what? I hit you.
Yeah, so egregious. Yes,
be a call.
Oh,
exactly.
Yep.
And how like those games against the Pistons and the Knicks, how he was getting clotheslined in those games.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely,
Like legit fouls
Well,
that they didn't call on him. You know,
We were all talking
Yeah.
a few months ago. I forget who tripped over. Maybe it was Rubber Shoes. Somebody tripped over like Celtics Pistons from the 80s. It was 87 Celtics Pistons.
Yep.
And you watch what wasn't called on Parrish. Like Parrish straight up punches Lambeer, like steals his baby, steals his car,
Yep.
dates his wife, and they're like, no whistle.
Foul and
No
not
whistle.
even suspended
Rub some
after
dirt
that.
on it.
They did call a foul. I did look at that. They did end up calling a foul, but there was no technical. It wasn't even a flagrant. It was a common foul, no technical, and the end. That was it.
Yep.
And they moved on.
Yeah,
And
it's
the other thing is too is like I will say that in those days, and to be like the old man on the porch, be like back in
Love
my
it.
day,
grab your cane.
and I apply this to Tatum as well, and other a lot of stars in the NBA. The complaining to the refs in the 80s and 90s not nearly as bad as they are now.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've definitely saw some folks like like hey man, like and that would be it though. It wouldn't be like this long, what I mean, like tirade.
A lot of times they would. So I've seen clips where the LeBron. Oh well, Jordan complained to, but so Jordan would go to the side. He'd put his hands on his knee, go down, and he would talk not straight to his face and not shrugging shoulders, and he would just be like, "Hey, look out for this." Kind of give him a heads up, not like you got to be kidding me, and arms flailing all over the place.
Well,
Like
it's the
Johnny
same sort of thing in the NFL, where right now, all you have to have is, and sometimes it's a coin toss on the call, but all you have to have is some contact, and all you need is the wideout or the receiver that's on the route. They just turn around and they start doing the flag, or you look at the quarterback's doing the flag, and it almost induces the flag.
It's going to be worse this year. Did you see they're outlawing the hip tackle, and they showed an example of the hip tackle? It's a tackle. Right, Ava? It's just a tackle.
Right, Ava.
By the way, you just totally creeped on me right there. It's wonderful. Hi. Oh.
What are we doing?
Oh, it's for me? Oh, thank you. I'm sure
I love this. What's happening?
Just drew this.
I love all of that.
She just drew that. It's very nice.
It's the Bunker Hill
Better than I
Monument
could do.
on St. Patrick's Day with a whole bunch of debauchery at the base. I like that. Wonderful.
Go draw another one.
Go draw another one. Yeah. Do Coach
Yourself a couple
Missoula a
more
favor.
minutes.
Drop the final play of the playoffs. She'll come back with a better scheme. Dear
I will
Lord.
say about the Atlanta game last night. One of the Atlanta announcers, I heard it later, had a great quote. Tatum was complaining about a call, and he's like, "Who does Jason Tatum think he is? Caitlin Clark? Like, but he's not going to get these calls."
Oh my God. Wow.
I am looking forward to Thursday because we'll be at a bar watching it. Not sober whatsoever. But I also think the Celtics are going to come out and beat the ever-living snot out of Atlanta.
I'm hoping it's a statement game.
I think so. Yeah, and I think it is. I think it will be. But we'll see. You want to hop over to the Bruins?
Sure. Or not.
Maybe not. No, I guess we'll move on.
I got a chance. I got a chance to go last Saturday to the Flyers. Not this past. I apologize. A week ago Saturday when we were home, which turned into a score fest, which was nice. But they also let up a whole bunch too, which was disconcerting. I have lucked out though. Every time I go to a Bruins game, like when we grab our tickets, I keep ending up at a game where they're honoring somebody. Like
James
yeah,
Van Riemsdyk.
yeah, it was Van Riemsdyk. Last year it was 2 years ago it was Tuukka. Last year it was Bergeron. Yeah,
Which
amazing. We always end up at
he came out. He missed. Van Riemsdyk missed the next 2 games. He said he shouldn't have played that game. He's like he was ill, and the only reason why he played is because they would.
It was what it was. Sure.
Game,
yeah,
and it was against his old team, so that's the only reason why he did it.
Yep.
He's like, he said he had no business playing in that game.
Yep. Yeah. How do we feel about them? I feel like they're up and down. They seem to be all over the place.
Yeah. So yesterday, Montgomery came out and said that he had them doing sprints in practice because they didn't show up on practice ready to go. And so he's trying to light a fire under their ass. They don't look good. They're still winning, although and tying. They have the most overtime losses in the league,
15.
which that's a point every time they lose in overtime.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, those are just losses. So that's concerning to me, is that the close games they don't do well in against good teams.
Yeah.
We're gonna find they could have a really bad week this week because they just lost to Philly. They are in Florida tonight against the Panthers, and then they play Tampa Bay. They could lose 3 in a row easy.
Honestly, yeah, if they're not. They looked the game 2 weeks ago at the Garden that nothing was clicking. I think back to, and you'll love this because you love La Habitant, when the Bruins were having a tough night against the Canadians. The Bruins were all over the place. You know, the dump and grind, that mentality of just crash the net, and the Canadians would be tape to tape, just click, click, click. All the passes would click, click, and they just looked sloppy. Even the other day when they
have a lot
beat
of
the
bad
daylights.
turnovers.
Yeah.
Part of
Something's
it
off.
can be so now
They're gonna
with
win
the
the
people
cup.
that they picked up at the trade deadline, they're kind of they don't have a set lineup on D right now. They keep moving pieces in and out. Whether they're trying to find the right chemistry to go into the playoffs, but they definitely don't look good. They're
gonna win the cup.
Their goaltenders are keeping them in these games.
Thank God. Thank God.
Yep.
Do we want to put the Patriots on the shelf and just get to them next week?
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much to talk about. I mean, Mayo came out and had a 30-minute interview with the media, which was weird for a Patriots head coach to do that. But, I mean, they haven't really signed anybody else.
No, nothing's...
And he said he did address, like, someone had asked him about the thank you. Someone had asked him about, like, the fans and their frustration around the fact that the Patriots haven't done anything yet. And he just asked for the Pats fans to be patient, which, of course, we are super patient.
Which Robert Kraft also said.
And he's like, just be patient. And he did also say that, and he was honest, and I do appreciate this. It's just very weird from a Patriots head coach over the last 20 years. He was honest in saying, like, this isn't really a destination for free agents right now. You have uncertainty at quarterback. There's a lot of changes. There's a lot of things, so yeah, I mean, we haven't found a fit for us necessarily, but we also haven't found a fit. Other people aren't seeing us as a fit either. So, just be patient. We're trying to build something here, and we love your passion. We love all that, but just be patient with us. So,
Rubber Shoes, and I was going to ask you and Scotty, and then I'm going to double check with Scotty on quarterback. Do you guys both still think it's Drake May? Like, who do you think they're going after?
Well, it's not who they're going after. It's who's going to fall to them.
Okay. Do you think it's Drake May?
I hope it's Drake May. I'm more and more. I'm all in for Drake May.
I don't want Drake May.
Do you want JJ McCarthy?
I want JJ McCarthy in the second round. I want Marvin Harrison Jr. So
okay,
I'd rather them draft Marvin Harrison, and then there's still some other quarterback. But look, it's either going to be if Drake May, if the top two teams go quarterback, so it's like it's Daniels, McDaniels, or whatever, Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams. Even though people have like talking about JJ McCarthy jumping in because he just had an amazing pro day.
Yeah.
Would I love to see JJ here? Yeah, but I don't want them to use the number 3 pick on him. And honestly, Drake May has a lot of talent and tools and all that, but I don't see him much of a difference between him and Bo Nix. And Bo Nix, you might be able to get in the second round.
Yeah.
What's happening? You know what I mean? So if you could get Marvin Harrison Jr., that's who I would take personally. If he drops, if the top two teams go quarterback and then Harrison's there, that's who I would take because he's a next level talent at wide receiver.
And he
they
makes
need
he
that.
makes
Their
he
wide
makes your
receiver
new
depth right
quarterback
now-
better. Yeah, and he makes your new quarterback. It gives them more to play with. Yep.
And they've already
Yep.
said that Jacoby Brissett's going to be the bridge quarterback. So it's like even if they draft somebody, he's
Jacoby's taking
going to start day
first team
one.
snaps.
So yeah, you know what I mean. So it's but I don't know.
If they keep the third pick, I want them to take May. If not, I want them to trade it with Minnesota, get their 2 first-round picks, take a tackle, take a receiver, and then take a quarterback in the second round. Whether it be Nix or Penix or McCarthy, but I think McCarthy's going in the first round. I think
McCarthy's probably going to end up in the first round.
Mm.
But
Interesting. All right.
His stock has risen a ton, and so Scott Zolak, I got to watch some of his program yesterday. I was at the fire station, so he over the weekend he went through a lot of his film and can understand what the hubbub is about him. That he even though they didn't call on him to do a lot of stuff in Michigan, but his footwork, his arm strength, he checks off all the boxes. So
it wasn't, and that's the thing. Like he had an amazing offensive line and an amazing running game that they leaned on. So they didn't, and also the way that Harbaugh ran that wasn't. I mean, he didn't throw the ball more than 20 times. I think maybe 5 or 10 times through his entire college career.
They were 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Yep. I mean, 10 or 20 times.
So what about what do you think of trading with the LA Chargers for Herbert, and then so Harbaugh can get McCarthy?
I'll be fine with that.
Oh my God.
No issues with that at all. Maybe 6 to midnight.
6 to midnight.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You kidding me? Justin
Oh
Herbert,
my God.
yes,
Oh
absolutely.
my God. Yeah, I would love that. I would love that. Yeah, I mean, when he was part of the Mac Jones draft, yes? Wasn't that his year?
Herbert?
Was Herbert the year prior? Okay.
No, he was before, yeah.
No, Trevor Lawrence. So you're thinking his class was
right.
Lawrence,
No, you're
Zach
right.
Wilson.
You're right. Yeah, I loved him. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Who knows? We'll probably trade out for a 13th tight end. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know. I've no
regime.
We shall see. We shall see. We'll have a different regime next week. We'll be back at it for Scotty Dukes, for Rubber Shoes, for Adam. He's in hair and makeup. Maybe he'll join us next week. I will be live from the Chelmsford studios. Rubber Shoes might join me in the Chelmsford studios. Yep. And we don't know what day that will be yet. So we'll figure that out, and we will see you next week. What was the artwork? What did she write?
I don't know. It's
she have a shopping list for Kraft and Henry?
This is a peanut, which is kind of terrifying.
I love that.
Okay.
It looks like a chicken, but okay.
This, I believe, are butterflies.
Oh, I love that. She did a great job.
Oh, no, candy. This is candy. I apologize.
Oh,
that's candy.
Right. I believe her. Whatever she
these
says.
Little dots are, but I feel like P. Diddy probably used them to.
Oh my God! In front of the children, dear Lord.
She has no idea.
Thank God. Thank God. Oh, Lord. ATBshow.com. You can go there and track down the other social mediums where Rubber Shoes will be back at it first thing in the morning for the Rubber Shoes wrap-up and rant, the hat of the day, the shirt of the day, the thong of the day coming this summer. Hide the children. Hide the children. And we'd love for you to subscribe and comment and share. And above and beyond that, be back next week for Adam, Scotty, Rubber Shoes, and our dear friends at AAA Work Trucks. We'll see you soon.